going on, guys? Welcome back to SDG for another lure build today. Got a crappie jig that we're going to build today. Take a slightly different twist to it, so I hope you enjoy it. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago, I posted a quick shot where I featured the 10 cavity, 2-inch Fat Guys Fishing paddle slayer system. So in that mold, if you recall, we shoot the body first, and we actually did that in Fluorescent Pink. And then once the body is ready to go, you pull those out, separate it from the runner, transfer the body over to the tail section, and shoot the tail, and we did that in yellow. What you end up with after it's all said and done are 10 little 2-inch crappie paddle tails. Super cool little design. So it got me thinking, maybe I can use this mold in a different way, right? I've seen crappie jigs, and I still to this day have no idea how they make them. Maybe you guys do, you can drop it in the comments for me and let me know. But I've seen them with soft plastic around the shaft, around the body, and yet some sort of natural material or some other tailing material that's clearly not soft plastic, right? I don't know how they do that, but I got to thinking, maybe this mold gives me the ability to do that by just using the body portion. And then if I can manipulate the soft plastic a little bit to get a tail on afterwards. So I had some extra of that pink and yellow paddle tail that we did, just a couple of them. I took it out fishing and just slaughtered them with it. That thing skips like a dream under the docks. Bass were hitting it, bluegill were hitting it, crappie were hitting it. It was awesome. So I only had a few left, but I did take a couple out, and I snipped the tail off, so we just have the pink body, that fluorescent pink body. I happen to have a VMC 1/8 ounce Mooneye Jig in pink and white already made up, or already purchased, I should say. So I thought, I'm gonna give this a whirl, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me. So as I said, here's our VMC 1/8 ounce Mooneye. There's our little paddle tail that I cut off. We're gonna be using 140 Denier flat wax nylon today. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that plastic up just a little. It will compress just enough, and that'll give us enough to tie on to the back. So I'm gonna pull this plastic up, and it'll shrink up just a little bit. Then I'm actually going to use the thread. I'm going to put the thread base down right there, and I'm going to use the thread to kind of hold it back a little. Give it a wrap. Thread base down, about to the hook, or the bend of the hook. Then I'm going to come back and just put a couple of wraps right there at the base of that plastic to try to help it stay back. So that looks good. Pink and white, gotta go with a nice white plume of Marabou. Flip that guy around. We want about a hook's length, maybe a little bit longer, so that looks pretty good. Separate it. I just like the look. You guys know that. If you've been around the channel at all, you know that I like to tie my tails on the top of the hook. I've always preferred the look of it there versus on the bottom, so that's what we're going to do. A little extra effort to get it to separate on the hook properly, but in my opinion, well worth it. So there we go. Just pull that down, not too hard. I got to remember I'm using 140 Denier, and it will break on me if I pull on it like I usually do with 210. Alright, find these curved scissors a lot better and easier to use for stuff like this, getting in there. So pull this back. Let's see if we can clean that up just a bit. That actually will help hold the plastic back. Alright, so from there I've got some really nice pink crystal flash. I haven't used crystal flash on here for quite a while. I'm usually a Flashaboo guy, but crystal flash in that UV pink. That's one piece cut in half again. So I can put 2 pieces, or 1 piece on each side gives me 2 on either as it's doubled over. There we go. There's 1. And the other. Don't want to go too far down with the thread towards the hook bend, because then I won't be able to cover up my threads with the plastic, which is what we're going to try to do here. So that looks good. Simple little tail. Now we need to actually whip finish from here. So put 1, 2, 3, 4 whip finishes in. Cut that off. Now I guess because we're going to push the plastic on it or over it, I guess you wouldn't really need to, but I'm going to go ahead and hit that tail with a little loon head cement, just because I can and it doesn't hurt anything. So now we should be able to simply push this plastic, kind of re-extend it, and I actually want to push it down a little bit further so it's almost in the middle, leaving a gap right there. We're going to do something else with this, take an extra step. You won't have to do this though. If you wanted to, you could kind of gauge it and pull that plastic up, you know, and fish it just like that. But it's SDG, right? We got to go up a level. So let's push this down, really cover that section up there. Give me some space up front. Not too much, but a little bit more to work with, and then we can adjust the body just right afterwards. Another thread base right behind the head. That down. And from here, I want to do just a classic soft hackle collar. So I've already got it prepped. I got a white flower here. I got a white feather here. I've already extended the barbels on the sides. I got the end cleaned up, which makes a good tie-in spot. Underneath, the shaft of the feather goes from right to left, goes right up against the thread. Trap it, and we come around behind the feather, and then so you've essentially made an X, and then 1, 2 in front, pull down. So that should, all things held equal, lock that feather in. That's the same movement as crazy legs, right? Across, behind, over, everything's kind of loose. You can be a little bit tighter with this. 2, pull it down, cinch it, should hold the feather in place. So now we're just going to use the rotary. You could do this without a rotary. I'm going to use a rotary and give us a nice little collar. Bring it right up to the head. 1 more for measure, good measure. There we go. Now I don't want to trap any of these feather fibers, barbules, whatever, you know what I'm saying. So 2 behind, and then right around the head, the jig head, 2 in front, pull that down. Be really careful when you cut the excess feather off, because you can cut some of that collar unintentionally. So take your time, know where your scissors are. Again, I love these curved for that purpose. You can really kind of get in there without having to, I don't know. I just like them. So that's it. All we need to do now is a couple of more and whip finish in the front. Nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take your time, hold the head, pull it down, and we are good. There we go. I'm going to take my bodkin and same thing, some loon. Bodkin, I'm going to dip it in there and just kind of get behind the head and let it drip down into the threads. That'll be more than enough. Take care of that. All right, so the only thing left to do now is to adjust the body. So I'm going to push it back up towards the head just a bit. Fill in that gap without coming off of the tail. Boom. There she is. I like it, man. I think it's a cool alternate use of that Fat Guys Fishing mold. You can obviously do a million colors with it and then pair it up with these natural materials that are so near and dear to our hearts. Let me get some close-up shots of this guy, and then we'll certainly put it in the test tank and see how she swims. Does anything look better than Marabou in the water? I mean, seriously, like, whew, what a natural material. And I think our soft plastic pink body worked quite well. Of course, we had to add the little flare, the SDG flare with that collar. And props to VMC. I mean, that's a pretty dope looking Mooneye two-tone pink and white head. Guys, I think it turned out pretty awesome. I hope you guys liked it too. Be sure to drop some comments. Let me know what you think. If you'd like to see some more lure building just like this, then click on this video right here. If you're curious why I called the channel SDG, click on this video right here. Otherwise, until the next time, I'll see you guys at the vise.